Now listen, you may think I'm bluffing when I'm telling you that there's literally one big major technique that you can start applying to your video editing and your projects that I'm telling you will make a big major difference. It'll make all the difference in the world. Like, your videos will be 10 times better just with this one technique. Now, you may think I'm bluffing, but let me tell you, as someone who's been editing for 12 years now, I bet I can prove you wrong. You want to know what the technique is? I'll give you a hint. How is that you can watch the most incredibly shot videos and still get bored? I'm talking about a trick that you can do in any video, any software, and even when you're making your TikTok videos. I'm going to be discussing the following topics. Keep in mind that there's a lot to discuss, but I'll try and get through it as quickly and as easily as humanly possible. So first, what's technique? How does it work? And I'm also going to use an example of how we can apply it. So, you ready? This technique is called pacing. Wait, you may think you know everything about pacing, but while it appears like a very simple concept in theory, it only gets more and more complicated thinking about it. See, you have this inner device called a brain, which is telling your eyes and ears to collect data, which then gets sent to your brain, which then tells you what's happening within a literal microsecond. However, eventually you're going to register any information that's of interest to you, and then when you don't find it, you look elsewhere for new information. Or in this case, you stop watching a video. It's important that you keep your viewer constantly engaged. Now, don't be confused, engagement does not equal being fast. See, your brain can process as much data in an instant. You can look or hear something for a split second and almost register what you observed. However, have you ever been outside to a scenic location? Oh gosh, I miss those days. If you're into that in the slightest, then your brain is going to try and register everything around it with all 5 senses. Your brain feels constantly active, observing a huge landscape without worrying about anything changing quickly. You feel at ease. Pacing is about speed, and it can be done quickly or slowly, and how you figure out that timing really plays a huge factor. Right now, I'm going to use an actual example. So I'm going to edit a video of me basically playing video game. I'm playing Call of Duty. If you want to see the full video, it's on my Instagram. I want to go through what I've recorded and keep any reactions while cut out anything that's not happening. Basically, the reactions will be a little more stimulating and be more interesting, and all the sort of waiting moments and the concentrating moments in between are just kind of boring, so I want to cut those out. We'll go through another pass through the video just to see if there's any moments that don't feel interesting and cut them out. If it's not special or worth paying attention to, you're not going to bother registering it and you'll just move on. This is literally the same thing I do every time I edit one of my reaction videos, which you've all seen. I only keep the interesting bits and I cut out everything else. Those recordings can be 1 to 3 hours long, which gets edited to a 7 to 15 minute video. Now, how will you know if something is worth keeping or not? That's a tricky thing. If you're making a video that you want to watch, then you'll know as you'll get bored or not. If you're making a video that you want someone else to enjoy, then you really need to be honest with yourself about what you have. Is a joke actually funny? Are you providing interesting information? Are you setting up for something? Normally you should be able to do both, where you draw on your senses, but keeping your viewers in mind. Now, we'll have a video which is just the cuts, and that's it. This video is already watchable. You could slap on music, text, graphics, etc., which would be the icing on the cake, but the bulk of the hard work is done. Now, don't constantly take out spaces between words, as it's beyond annoying. If you couldn't say a sentence without bumbling your way through, just redo the take. It's 10,000 times easier than having to edit it later. Plus, honestly, it does look really stupid. It's not a technique, it's not a style, it's not being yourself, it's stupid. Plain stupid. Don't do it. Finally, there's this thing called taking this too far. If you make your edits go too quickly, your brain will work overtime to absorb all the information. If you want to use this trick, then make sure the information you want to share is extremely simple to digest. Otherwise, using slow edits or clips or shots where not much is happening will feel boring. You want boring shots to go quickly, and dynamic shots with a lot of information can go relatively slower. Then use your instincts. When something feels too quick to register or too slow that's not interesting, then fix it. I'm telling you, just by mastering the art of pacing can literally mean night and day with your editing. And look, even pros need to focus on this technique once in a while. Look, I'm telling you, just by mastering the art of pacing, it can literally make a major difference with your video editing. And listen, both amateurs and pros really have to work on this. It can be a hard technique to master, but Get started today. Start learning more about pacing in your video editing. And I'm telling you, your videos will be so much better. So please make sure to like and subscribe if you get value today. Tons of great stuff coming down the pipeline starting next week. Stick around. Good luck with your projects, and I will see you next time.